Okay, we're going to try this again, since I can't be able to seem to get anything right here with this thing as far as filming goes. So we're going to try out this buff right here on these pistons. These are the ones that I'm just quickie polish by hand, and you know, they're not bad, but they could be better. I'm gonna throw some aluminum polish on there with this buff right here on this Fordham tool. And I'm soaked this thing in water a couple of times so it should still be wet. Oh yeah, it's wet. These things dry out if you don't keep them wet. It's just, I guess it's a cotton, basically a giant hard cotton swab that they get harder as you use them. It helps if you soak them in water. I've had this one soaking in water a little bit, so I'm going to slap some of my aluminum polish on top of this thing and see how it goes. Now, the reason I'm doing this is probably not for the reason you think. You think it's some heat reflective special hot rod tip. And it is kind of, sort of, but not really. This is mainly, at least the reason I do it, is to keep carbon from building up on top of the piston there, which it actually excels at doing that. It probably helps a little bit in reflecting heat back into the chamber, but I don't think it works very good. Usually what this is a dog and pony show for the customer to make them feel better. Yeah, I just had eye surgery Wednesday. They took a cataract out and put a new lens in there, so you should definitely be wearing safety glasses. I am anyway. And you probably should too. So, let's see how this actually looks here. Okay, I think that buff's too hard and brittle at this point, so probably gonna have to do this by hand, unless I can find another buff that I got laying around here. I'm not making a special trip to the local store that ain't got one. So I don't know, that's slightly better, but that buff is still hard. So you do this, you'll probably do the combustion chambers too. Same reason, keep carbon from building out, but two on the cylinder heads. If you've been sanding in the chamber any, or grinding, or cutting in the chamber, polishing like this kind of helps. If you go back, you can see if you got any really high or low spots in there. You'd be figuring out, eyeballing them better. So I think it was shinier just doing it by hand with scotchbrite is what we did before. Definitely just the scotchbrite looked better. This is the one that's just scotchbrited. Or no, I think my son did that with the polish by hand. but he spent like 5 minutes on it, so he can go back and finish these out instead of me trying to find a buff for it. Let me put a little more in here, try and do it by hand, see if it's any better. He's probably got better finger pressure than I do. I got arthritis like crazy. And we'll do it by hand for a couple minutes and see what happens. Really does do a good job if you got a fresh buff. Once they get so old and so hard, they get brittle, and it doesn't work quite as good. Probably doesn't help my lighting in here sucks, or lack of lighting. That's on the agenda, to get some more lights. Yeah. I think we might be on to something here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Probably a little bit more than that, we should be good. I'm just using these cloths my wife gets from work. She works at a textile mill, and she brings home all kinds of this stuff. I don't know what this stuff is. It looks like gauze to me. I think it's some kind of diaper material or something. Same with this big white rag here. Got bags full of them, where they take samples because they have to measure the weave or whatever. And stuff works good. It's better than having to go to the store and buy it, that's for sure. I use them for shop towels and covers, and got oil absorbent rags and those little blue shop towels like you buy at the auto parts store. I've got big rolls of this stuff in here. I mean, big rolls. I'll never run out. I actually give this stuff away quite a bit. That company's been there a long time. It's had different owners over the years, but she works, some people have been there for 50 years almost. She works with some lady that's been there 47 years and still works, gets basically 3 paychecks. She gets the paycheck she gets now from working. She also draws a Social Security check, and she's got a retirement pension or whatever from the first company that owned it. So she ain't hurting on getting ready to retire, though. I guess if you've been there since you were 18 years old and you've been working there for 47 years, you're ready to go do something else. Of course, that being said, one of the guys there she works with is mid-70s. He officially retired last year, but I guess he got bored and went back to work after about 6 months. I know most people don't want to hear stories, but I relate better to people by telling them stories, or maybe it's something wrong on my part that I tell people stories to relate them, because some people just, if you're blunt with them and tell them the fact, they won't really understand it. So you have to delve into whatever and explain it to them. Some people are a bit thick, but I don't know. I think that looks pretty good. My rings just came in today. That's the one he kind of sort of did. It looks okay. That's pretty reflective right there. So I think that's good enough. Let me Let me polish on the second one a little bit. Yeah, rings came in today, and my cylinder head and base gaskets should be here Tuesday, I think, is what they said. I guess free shipping, they take the slowest route, cheapest route of shipping they can, which is fine. It's still free shipping. The other company, I paid $7, and I got paid $7.99 shipping. 2 days later, I got one pack of wrist pen clips, which was 2 wrist pen clips in a big box, huge box. Had nothing in it but 2 wrist pen clips. I was like, man, I hope they didn't screw my order up. And then today I got the primary cover gasket and 2 more wrist pen clips or piston pin clips, and the rings, and some free swag, which was cool. I like free stuff. I don't think enough companies do free stuff like they used to. And I'm not talking about cheapo free stuff like most of them do now. I mean, it used to be good free stuff that was useful. They used to have 6-inch steel rules or pocket protectors, little pen knives. I got a collection of little pen knives with different advertisers' names on them around here somewhere. That stuff that I used to get when I was a kid. They'd all give free stuff. Nowadays you get free stuff, but it's not very useful. It's kind of chintzy. But I think that piston there ought to be good. I would have rather ceramic coated these, but just wasn't in the budget, so their ceramic coating does work. Still got a little carbon on here. I'll go back and do those more, but I don't want to make this too long. Anyway, you guys get the idea. You can polish them by hand, you can polish them on a buffing wheel or whatever you got. Me using this Fordham tool, this one's just no good anymore. It's hard as a rock. It's nice and soft up towards the end here, but up towards where the fat end is, but down here down on the tip it's pretty hard. So it ain't really polishing nothing with that. All right, thank you guys. Everybody have a good weekend. We're supposed to be heading out to the Harley drags in Rockingham, North Carolina tomorrow. It's Rockingham drag strip. Just going down there to watch, not going down there to race because I don't have any bike ready. Yeah, I guess you could take the 883 up there and race it, but that's kind of pointless. And going to a national event like that, especially you ain't never raced at all on a drag strip at all, or anywhere else. So we're just going to go local here to Gallet, there in Benson, 8th mile track, and probably down the 710 dragway down towards Fayetteville. That's a 1/4 mile track. Just so he can get some practice in. We'll go to Gallup till he gets a little better, and then we'll probably hit 710 for test and tune days or whatever, so he can get some 1/4 mile practice in. And anyway, that's it. Guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, think about it. If you do, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. I understand this stuff's pretty cut and dried. It's not the most exciting stuff in the world, and probably the way I lay it out probably isn't the most exciting way in the world. I'm not one of them guys that's, yeah. It's all great. It's all right. I know this, I know that, I know the other thing. I'm YouTube certified. I'm not one of those guys. A lot more laid back than that. So, or what they call it, subdued. whatever. Anyway, have a great weekend, and thank you. Gives me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and take care.